Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. This is an event that we put on every year for our juniors and their families to really give an opportunity for all of you to see what's out there after your senior year. So we are fortunate to have some experts here with us this evening to really explain to you the different opportunities that you have coming to you after your senior year. Junior year is really the year that you start to really start to think about what's going to happen as I go through my senior year and start to plan my future, right? So we have a member, a sergeant from our Army here this evening to speak to you about military opportunities. We have a member from SUNY Broome to speak to us about our different opportunities from a two-year university or college. And then we have a member from Binghamton University to talk to you about different opportunities for a four-year college. Typically, we have a member of a trades union as well to talk to you about different opportunities in trades, but he fell ill this evening, so he's not able to be here. However, we just had 32 of our students attend a member of the plumbers union was here yesterday to talk to 32 of our students about exploring that career field as well. So we still have opportunities throughout the year on that. But tonight's really to talk about the different opportunities and learn what those present to us if we want to explore any of these different really paths as we move on past high school. So without further ado, I'm going to turn over to Mrs. Oakley from our counseling department to explain to you a little bit more.
All right, good evening. I'm Mrs. Oakley, for those of you who do not know me. I am one of the counselors here, and actually, can we go back a slide? I put up here a link for the Remind app. You'll actually need to download the app on your phone in order to gain access to the class of 2026. This is a good opportunity for us to be able to let you know of upcoming events. And also going into your senior year, we'll be sharing a lot of information on there, from scholarships to different events that are going on specifically for seniors. So it's really important for families to have access to that. So if you can scan that and put it in your phone, that way you'll have a lot of information coming up in their senior year. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about our junior workshops. So your students will be participating in junior workshops next week. On the 4th, they'll be pulled out of their English classroom, and they'll be with us for 2 full months. We're going to go over what the remainder of their junior year is going to look like and what the beginning of their senior year and throughout their senior year, just to kind of give them a heads up. I have a packet here. It's actually last year's packet, but they will be given a packet that has all the information that they need to know. So some of the things that are really important finishing up this school year, what we're going to do in the junior workshops is kind of do a little bit of exploration of careers, colleges that are associated with them, and give them an opportunity to kind of explore those colleges. So that way, over the summer, they can visit those campuses to make sure that those colleges are fit for them, have everything that they are looking for. And then in the fall of their senior year, we're going to talk to them about how to apply to those colleges. The other thing to keep in mind, junior SATs are coming up this April 8th. It'll be here in-house. Students, 11th graders only, will be sitting for those. And if they decide that they want to retake them, we can show them how to log into College Board and sign up for them. Unfortunately, they won't be here in our building if they retake them, but their first opportunity to take them will be in-house. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to pass it on.
Perfect. So, and just so you know, so we have tonight, we have our junior workshops, and then we also will have one-on-one junior scheduling meetings. So those, you should be receiving a letter any day now if you haven't yet. So you're welcome to come in, sit with your child and counselor, and go through, their future courses, how that aligns with the career path that they're interested in, because we have 10 different pathways here at our high school. So our goal is that students are choosing a pathway, choosing a career of interest, and then exploring courses within those while they're here in our building. So really quickly, before we have our panel presentation, just kind of want to go over some resources that we use with our students. Parents, you have access to these, so if you don't for some reason, or you're not sure how, just let me know, and that's something I can easily resend you. We use Naviance. We used it throughout middle school. We use it throughout high school. This is really an assessment tool, career exploration tool. Also, if you choose to apply to college, this is the avenue that you'll use for some of the application materials as well. So I'll go into Naviance in just a moment. During our junior workshops, like we said, we're going to be talking about future, right? Our goal is that all of our students become future ready. To help align with that, we have students choose some different careers, different professionals that they'd like to meet with. We have Day with Professionals, so this will be happening in March, and we usually have 40 different local professionals who will come in, sit at a table similar to this, and have one-on-one conversations with students. So really kind of making that connection beyond our building, what opportunities are out there, and having that one-on-one conversation. And then summer opportunities, we will have a job fair. So again, providing opportunities to speak with professionals in their areas of interest, and then local positions that are hiring for the summer. So really quick, I just want to show you Naviance a little bit. Students, your parent, you should be able to easily access this and show your parents. So this is an example student. Students can select their career path. So self-discovery, I talked about the different assessments that we have students take. So every year we have students take a different assessment that kind of helps them learn more about themselves, right? It's awesome to find a career that we're interested in and want to pursue, but it's also important to know about us. What are our strengths? What are our areas for growth? And so on. So here's some different assessments. As students find different things, they'll be able to favorite them, and it saves. So if they're looking into the military, there's military branches up here that you can explore, colleges as well. So really quick, this is a tool that we'll be using in the junior workshops. So we have a lot of students who will be like, hey, I want to do this at home as well. So if you're choosing college, this is just the advanced college search. So I'm just going to pretend I'm choosing a four-year school. I can choose that I don't want to stay too far from home, right? I want to be within 3 hours. This is how big the student body is. So I'm going to say I'm medium to big. We have students kind of ignore the admission in athletics unless it's something that they're definitely going for. And then I'm going to say engineering. I'm going to click go. So I'm going to choose what kind of engineering do I want to go into. Civil, as selected. So now I'm going to view matches. So this helps narrow down. There's 15 schools within New York State that meet my criteria between 5,000 and 15,000 students that have a civil engineering program. So it just kind of, when we think about college, if that's the career and the pathway that you're choosing, it can seem overwhelming with all of those that are out there. So this is just a tool that kind of helps narrow them down. So then you can click on the college and you can learn some additional information. So parents, your account gives you access to either add college or military branches to your child's account for them to kind of explore or see what they have already favorited. So if I look at RPI and I love it, I'll click this heart and then it's favorited for me. So it's nice because it gives you an overview, which is some videos, tells you the average price, tells you how big it is. So okay, around 5,000 students, around 12 kids in a class, and tells you what major. So we often tell students, if you're considering a few different majors, you should go to a college that has strong programs in a couple different things so you're not, switching colleges to switch a major and so on. So just knowing that this tool is there, if you don't have access, you'd like access, or you need to redo your account, just come see me. And we'll be here at the end as well. So now we'll kick off our panel. Staff Sergeant Shepard, I'll have you start. And that mic is just connected to the camera, but this one is different.
So hi everybody, I'm Staff Sergeant Shepard with the U.S. Army. A little about me, I've been in for about 8 years, active duty Army. Currently a recruiter, been doing this for about a year. So I'll just kind of go over basic DoD stuff across all the branches, the opportunities that each of us have. As far as the GI Bill, it's $50,000 going to college, which is roughly the average price of about a 4-year degree. active duty wise, you have to make a 3.5-year commitment. You complete that contract for 3.5 years and you have full access to that GI Bill. If you want to pass that GI Bill on because for some reason you don't want to college, you want to continue your career in the military, you can pass it on to your wife, your husband, your children, etc. And for also our health insurance, we go through TRICARE. TRICARE covers you completely as long as you're on station for military members, their spouses and children. It is no cost to you. You have full medical benefits from top doctors in the world who have joined the Army. They went through a lot of them went through our AMED program. They've gotten their full medical school paid for. They have to hold a certain standard of GPA to be able to do that. So they're not doctors with low GPAs coming in the military. They are actual very good doctors. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a while. Dental. Dental is also free. But if you want your family on dental, we use Concordia. You get family plans like roughly about $30 a month. That's what I pay. They can go to, they can choose, I believe, what dental they want to go to also. Off post, on post, whatever they want to. That's just kind of basics for the Army, not the Army, correction, for the DoD itself. And then as far as, we also have a TSP program. It is the thrift savings plan, think of it like a 401k. The Army will match you up to 5% up to that, so you'll pay 5% out of your pay, and then they'll match up that other 5%. And on average, they say that by the time you retire, say you do 20 years, you'll have roughly about $1 million in there. And that can be changed because it's all within stocks and stuff like that, and you can move those stocks freely. If you want more of a risky stock you want to invest into, that's fine, and you can get more on the top end on that, more money if you're good at it. I'm not good at it, I don't do it. And then also other programs and benefits that we do have are like our 30 days leave with vacation. You get 2.5 days a month. It's accrued. And then let's see here. Healthcare, yeah, for your dependents, and then the housing. Kind of just going over stuff. Your housing, so if you are a population of E1 through E4, which is being private the lowest, specialist the highest, you're going to live in the barracks. But that is housing free to you. You don't pay anything, no electric, you don't pay any utilities or nothing like that. That is a place for you to stay. You have your own room. A lot of our barracks, they do have kitchens, so you can cook in them too. We also have a facility called the DFAC, or the dining facility, that is completely free to you, 3 meals a day. Actually healthy food. The Army cooks do cook in there. So you don't have to worry about the meals, all that stuff. Everything is completely applied to you. And then as far as, we have tuition assistance also, which is about $4K a year, I believe it is, so a semester. So that's roughly, I think, 3 classes on average is what that is. That's an active duty side. Reserves are different. I'll get to that here in a second. Right now I'm talking about active duty. You also have chances to go to other schools while in the military. So there's things like Airborne, Ranger, RSLIC. We also have like hazmat schools. We have SHARP schools. It's sexual harassment and assault. You become an advocate for those things. We have equal opportunity. You can become an advocate for that. And all these will transfer outside the United States military. So if that's a path you want to go down, you can easily take that path. I also have customs. So on deployments or rotations overseas, as far as the customs go, I can do the inspections also. Anybody can do that as long as you go to the school for it. And all of this stuff can be transitioned over to the civilian side too. Now, as far as our reserves go, and this is specifically from my knowledge of the Army, we do have over 120 jobs in reserves. Those are not combat jobs, those are support jobs. Those are things like human resources, mechanics, medical personnel, things of that nature, okay? Now the healthcare for that, it is also TRICARE, but it is a remote kind of TRICARE, so it will be at a low cost pay. It's very low cost. Most doctors do use that and they will accept it. As far as the part-time goes, it is 1 week in a month for the reserves. You're thinking usually Saturday, Sundays, 2 weeks out of the summer. And that can look like 2 weeks on a small TDY, which is temporary duty. You could go anywhere to maybe up to Canada, you could go down to South America, you could stay in the United States, work another unit. and you're in about 2 weeks, we're gonna be doing something that's regarding to the job that you're doing in reserve. And during this also, you do have college tuition assistance. I believe it is around roughly about $4K, and then you also do have college loan repayment program. We will repay up to, if you do qualify for it, up to $70,000. Say you have maybe taken 2 years of college already. You're in financial, I guess, distress, and you need help with those bills, you can continue college, we'll repeat that, and we'll start paying you for your college. Okay. Now, kind of daily life, the process for actually getting in the military, it can be a headache sometimes because we are very thorough with everything that we do. Basically, you can come to any recruiter you want. Choosing your branch. For me being in the Army, you'll come into my office, we'll sit down, we'll have a talk, I'll get to know you, you'll get to know me, we're going to know about my career, and I'm going to know about your life. I'm going to ask you questions about your medical history. Under the Privacy Act of 74, it will not be put past myself or the United States Army. That will be between us. I'll know about your physical history, any broken bones, stuff like that, whether or not you got full mobility still. And then we'll need to know about your education too. You need a GED. You have to have either a GED or high school diploma. And then we'll take a test called the ASVAB. That is held up at the Syracuse Nets. And for the Army, if you are a non-high school graduate, you have a GED, you need at least 31. And if you are a high school graduate and you get in between a 16 and a 30, we can put you in a program that is going to help you score better on the ASVAB, but you will be sent off to a training, and I believe it is in Jackson. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure exactly where it is. But you'll go there and you're going to study basically for a few weeks. You're going to boost up your score on the ASVAB, and we're going to help you pick a job. Now your ASVAB score is going to predict what job that you get in the Army. So if you get a 31, we also have line scores attached to it. With those line scores, it should show you what you qualify for as a job. It can range from infantryman, or it can go all the way up to a X-ray technician, and everything in between. There's 150 jobs, active duty, 120 reserves. And after you finally decided your job, you passed your physical exams, all the paperwork you need, everything like that, what we're going to do is we're going to ship you off to basic, we're going to get your orders, you go to basic training, which is 10 weeks long. Basic training is just basic soldier skills, it's nothing hard. You have your drill sergeants, everybody thinks it's scary, it is really nothing, they're just teaching you how to be a soldier, they're teaching you how to be professional and disciplined. At the end of this training, you'll go to something called Advanced Individual Training, and that is your job that you picked, your MOS. You're going to go there, and you're going to learn everything, the ins and outs of it, the basics of it, and the way we think about it is that you're coming into this job knowing nothing, and we need to teach you everything. So you're going to get the proper amount of time to learn this job, you're going to get the proper education, and then after you have completed and passed this AIT, the Advanced Individual Training, you're going to go to your first duty station. And that could range from Italy, Germany, you could go to Korea, or anywhere in the lower 48, you go to Hawaii or Alaska. Some of our contracts, you can choose where you go, and if you don't mind, you just like send me anywhere, we'll put you where the Army needs you. That's kind of the basics of going to the military, and some of that touching like is the process getting in. It is not just the Army, that's all the other branches too. It's just with the Army that you can choose your job. Directly, we'll sit down with you, talk to you, figure out what it is that you want, what's best for you in your future, and we will sit there, lock in that job for you, take you up there, and you'll sign your contract on it. The moment you sign that contract, you have this job, that's the only job you're doing, unless later on at the end of that contract, you'll switch it. And that is a general of how the military works, how the Army works. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, and also at the end of this, if you guys want to come talk to me in the corner, sometimes uniform's scary, I can talk to you one-on-one also if anybody has any questions. Okay.
Good evening. I'm Owen Conklin. I am the Director of Admissions at SUNY Broome, and we're really excited to be a part of this program, mainly because we have a really nice partnership with your school district. And it wouldn't be possible to do great things like this to help give you information and opportunities for that without them. So we're really happy to be invited here to assist in giving some great information, really just to help in whatever your pathway happens to be. And that's what we here are doing, is letting you know that no matter what your pathway is, it's all valid, it's all good opportunities. And what we're here for is to help you see the opportunities on that path. It's great to know what you want to do, or if you're unsure, to at least start your plan. And that's what we tell folks. It's important when you're headed off to senior year that you're going to have a great time doing stuff, but it's important afterward to have a plan of where you want to go and what you want to do after that. And all of us could be a part of that plan in very unique and different ways. And so for the 2-year perspective, from SUNY Broome, we offer as a university an opportunity to get started on your college pathway that could lead you either to great jobs, it could lead you also to other great institutions. And it's about providing what students need. We are the community's college, which means we step in anytime we can to provide the needs of the community, especially when it comes to their education. That means most community colleges and 2-year universities are built that way based around the communities that they serve. And we serve our local area and all the students, school districts, businesses, and different things that are happening here in our area. So that means when you take a look at us, many of our programs, many of our opportunities lead directly into the fields around us. Everything from environmental work taking place in our lower side of the Catskill region on over towards the southern tier. It goes to our technology and STEM fields that have grown and persist to be tremendously successful, all the way on to our health programs, where healthcare is a huge employer and a huge need in our area. And so that is a variety and swath of all the different things that we can do. But all of those programs are meant to give you the skills necessary to go on and be successful. Now, as a 2-year institution, we try to make it easy. And one of the things we do to make it easy is partner with your district. And that's why we run in the senior year the College Express program. I guess some of you may have seen the seniors this year experience that, or folks in the past. It is a partnership that we developed with our first partner here in your district to set up an easy path to be admitted to SUNY Broome. All we do is we come here, we go through the application with you, we get all your transcripts together, so you have a guaranteed acceptance at SUNY Broome. And that's what it's about. It's providing you a very easy pathway if that's what you want to do for your success. It doesn't mean you have to come to Broome. It just means that we have helped you get across that finish line rather easily so you don't have to worry about things later on. And those opportunities lead you to some great experiences. Our 4 divisions come from the programs I was talking about before. Everything from health sciences to STEM to business, where we're taking folks further on in some of the more successful business opportunities in our area, or liberal arts. So if you want to be a teacher, maybe a musician, or criminal justice in different areas. The reason that we're successful, and my guess is you may know somebody who's been to SUNY Broome, is because we're connected directly to the jobs across our region. So places like BAE, or Raymond Corporation, Visions, Guthrie, Lourdes, all the hospitals and things. They are regularly on our campus working with students to get the skills necessary to be at the highest level in the fields they're involved with, or lead directly into job offers and opportunities. Many of our businesses in our area employ students while they're going to college. And not only employ them, support them with finances to go to college. We have veterans who will come to Broome after their service, supported by their service in the military. There's so many ways to get support if that's the route you're looking to go for. The other option is great transfer partnerships leading you on to bachelor's degrees and beyond that. And Broome is unique that we have set up many transfer partnerships across the system that are really successful, but also kept it really simple but really impactful for students who want to stay locally. One of our best partners is with Binghamton University, and a lot of students will experience an opportunity at Broome, moving them forward towards Binghamton University. And so it's a great thing. I know that Mr. Teasley will talk a little bit about later on, but I would encourage you that if you're thinking right now that you have a program in mind, that you know that you need a 4-year degree or more in order to be successful in that program, that you think about the opportunity potentially of starting somewhere soon, somewhere a little bit different for 2 years that may be smaller class sizes, lower cost, better fit for what you're looking for to get ready to be a college student, because many of us in the 2-year universities are like that. We provide a unique experience. Many of the 4-year universities will provide that for you as well. So some of the tips we have, since you're all juniors, and folks, raise your hand if you're a junior. I just want to make sure there's nobody I don't know in the room. Okay, raise your hand if your family around are really hoping this is going to work out. Okay, yeah, me too. You're all invested in this. So some of the best tips we can give you is to be a team in this. So when you're going to look at visiting colleges, find time maybe you can go together. If only one of you can go, find another time. If it's a school that you care about, to make it there together and ask questions. Ask all questions you have too. We are all about questions. So anytime you have a question, whatever's important to you is important to us. And there is no silly question in this process, because if you don't get your questions answered, sometimes it can lead to extra time or spending extra money, which we do not want. So always feel like you can ask your questions to get answers that are important to you. Also, this is a great time to work together, maybe on a shared calendar or a shared set of goals of what you're looking for. And I guess students, you're looking for some really specific things in college. The folks who are around you might be looking for specific things that might not be the same. So now, junior year is a great time to start having those conversations, if you haven't yet, of what you think in the college is important to you, and share that amongst each other so you can frame that for the future. And whatever it is, the other great thing about coming to see you tonight is we'll be back. All of us, we come back. We are going to be here at different times to support you when you need it. Not only right now as you're getting started junior year, but across your senior year, and helping other students all over along the way. So know that we're going to be there for you, and that we are just an email or a phone call away when you need something. And that's the great thing about who you have here today, is all of us are really invested in your success. So no matter what that success looks like to you, we are a resource that you can always reach out to for help. And today is just the beginning of that. And we're happy to answer questions on it, but I actually want to turn it over first, because a lot of times we have questions about colleges, university, they cross over a little bit. So I'll let my colleague go as well.
Thanks, so that was well said, by the way. This is a partnership, and we talk about us as a community, how critically important it is for us to have such a valuable source of education in our community. Thank you for putting this together tonight. Not every school does this, by the way, and you can tell Windsor is such a caring community. I hear a lot in Windsor. It's a partnership. Of course, we're part of the State University of New York. My name is Joe Tisi. I'm the Associate Director, Binghamton University. I've been in the world of college admissions for a very, very long time. I've seen many things. I work with seniors right now, and they're serious. Either they're admitted or working toward making big decisions very soon. A year from now, juniors, that's where you're going to be. So hosting an event like this tonight, as someone said, is the beginning. It's the beginning of the search. We want you to get it right. That's why we're here. I think if I were to give you some advice, juniors, and I've been doing this for a long time, it's a couple things. Number one, we talk a lot about the value of the visit program, and researching and going on college campuses and actually experiencing those campuses. We all have fantastic websites, and we have beautiful brochures. There's some over there, by the way. I'm just taking it before I leave. That's good. That's good information. But I think the best way to get to know whether a college campus is the right fit for you is to go there and to tour and to talk to the students. Has anyone ever taken a college campus tour before? Raise your hand. Yeah, all right. I think it's important. We come back in the fall. We come back as seniors. Maybe over the summertime, you would have said, you know what, I did that. And juniors, get yourself a little notebook. Almost jot down your thoughts. Almost journal. And when you're on those college campus tours, do that a lot. Did they have the majors that I was interested in? What did it feel like? Did they have the vibe and the community that I was interested in? Because those brochures and websites are good information, but they're not going to give you the good sense of the community. They're not going to tell the story. I think even beyond taking college campus tours, which I think is paramount, staying after the college campus tour, and maybe going into the dining hall or the bookstore or the student union, where students are actually hanging out. Don't be shy. Just go up to them and talk with them. They were exactly where you are not that long ago. And ask them, why did you choose this college? What's so special about this college? Are you happy here? Do you feel like you get the support that you need if you're struggling? If you're struggling academically, how easy would it be for you to get to a teacher? Do they care about you here? I can only imagine what it's like to go from high school to college, a whole new world, a whole new institution, a new community. It's got to be daunting. Right? My favorite day of the year, I think, is move-in day. I've seen many of those, and you watch families come in, they pull up, and they say goodbye to children, and they trust us with their children. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. We take it seriously. And then we want to get it right. And the reason we're here tonight is because we want to tell you about the right fit. And the right fit has everything to do with you going to those campuses and doing the homework now. So a year from now, when it's time to really make that decision, that you'll get it right. Binghamton University is one university where we are 6 different colleges, right? School of Management, Business and Finance, Engineering, and Nursing. Our biggest are liberal arts and sciences. That's huge. Think how big liberal arts and sciences are. Chemistry and music and poetry and fine arts and pre-med and pre-law and economics, and it's all housed there. 130 majors and minors, it's all there at Binghamton. Most popular major, 30% of our students come in with this academic interest on the bottom of their application. Do you know what it is? Undecided. Undecided. It's not a major. 30% of the students say, you know, I have no idea what I want to do at Binghamton. I got to tell you, I love that. I love that. They come in and say, you know, I'm not quite sure, but I think this is the right place for me to figure it out. I don't know if you're feeling that way now. As a matter of fact, juniors, if you really absolutely knew what you wanted to do right now, I'd be surprised, because that changes. If you don't really know, I got to tell you, it's okay. That's why we have community colleges. By the way, I'll tell you a secret. Both of my sons graduated from Binghamton University. We had 50,000 applications this year. 50,000 for 3,000 spots. Both my sons graduated from Binghamton. They didn't start there. We started at SUNY Broome. They went there for 2 years, got their associate's degree. 2 years. Transferred to Binghamton. 2 more years. That's a 4-year degree. They both have diplomas on the wall that say Binghamton University. No asterisk on that diploma saying, and by the way, they started at SUNY Broome. Doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish. So my point is, students, if you don't really know exactly what you want to do, you're not alone. These are some of the best and brightest students in the country that haven't figured it out when they got there. It's all about the right fit. Here's what I would say. I love it when students do this. They find out what they're most passionate about learning more about. I'm not going to ask you what your career is going to be. That's fleeting. I never ever took a class called the Admissions Counselor. Did you all?
Not.
Never? They don't have it. That's not a thing. We found out what we're passionate about, and our careers came along. What are you passionate about learning more about? Because I'm learning more about it, here's who I want to become. That's a good place to start. And number 2, where is the best fit for me to figure that out? Who has the resources and the community and the people that care about me to say, you know what, I'm going to graduate on time. Here's my favorite number. We brag about our students all the time. You know, it's Binghamton. These students, by the way, we admitted nearly 100 valedictorians last year. They're brilliant. I brag about them all the time. That's not my favorite thing. My favorite thing is this. Binghamton University has a 90% retention rate. Retention rate. Do you know what I mean by retention rate? They stay, we retain those students. They stay. 90% of the students stay. I love that. That's a big factor to look at when you're on your college campus tour. Just ask, what's the retention rate at this school? Do students stay? Are they happy? Do they get those services and the resources they need to be successful and graduate on time? Or do they go to that institution and they transfer away? You know the national retention rate is 64% in this country? 64%. It's kind of sad. If you think about it. The students put all that time and effort and they pay their tuition and books and roommates and all those things, and they said, you know what, I made a big mistake. I'm going to leave and transfer away. Nobody wants that. So the challenge is tonight to think about, where do I want to begin? Where is my best fit? Jot down, and I love that you have your outline. That's a fantastic tool. To be able to say organized and to be able to help you do it. So many things about Binghamton that's special. A year from now, when I'm working with these students, I look at their applications and I'm reading their applications, and you know, I talk with them. Senior year, I'll come back here and visit you, and I talk with you, and I say, how is your application coming along? Have you started your application to any colleges yet? And they'll say, you know, it's September, I could have started it. Well, where are you stuck? What's going on? Well, I'm working on my college essay. It's always a challenge. In September, I got to write an essay about, you know, Common App, it's about 250 words, about who do I want to become. And those are big, the college essays. Those are a big part of the application. So when I read an application at Binghamton, I read it holistically. It all matters. The transcript is going to be a big part of the application process. The college essay can be something, the letters of recommendation. It's part of the application. Now I ask that question when you apply. How many letters of recommendation will I need for this school? Binghamton just needs one letter of recommendation. There's some schools may need more. And we want it to come from someone who knows you well academically. You guys taking any AP classes? College level courses? Yeah. That's good. All that strengthens your application. Be attentive to the deadlines and the vocabulary of what that means. Early action is a non-binding, and I'm sure you'll get the support you need to make sure you make these decisions properly. Binghamton is an early action college. If you apply by November 1st, we'll take that information and we'll send a decision to you as soon as we can. Early decision colleges are just a little bit different. That's a vocabulary word. Early decision means if you decided you apply as an early decision college and they've admitted you, that's where you're going. It's a binding agreement. It's a commitment. So I think to me, if I were to give you some advice, it would be absolutely that. Just start being organized, going out on the campus tours, talking to the students, and just asking the questions. As Owen said, just ask the questions. And hopefully you'll find the right fit, and you'll do that just naturally by going there and talking to the students. What kind of questions do you want to start?
How would you say a student can stay that? What do they do to make themselves
At Binghamton, when I read an application, it's holistically everything. You know, I talked about that. Number one, these students are academically excellent. You've got to, you know, doesn't matter how great your essay is going to be, if you're a C or a D student, it's just not going to get to the Binghamton. So primarily standing out means academically you've got to achieve. Now we have a particular standard. Binghamton is it. Binghamton is considered to be, we just got a public Ivy ranking, by the way. Public Ivy. Ivy League caliber education at a public school price. Standing out at Binghamton means academically strong, right? But it all matters. So that essay, I read so many through the years. And think about this. It's called expressed interest. And then we look at everything. What kind of activities am I doing? Do I put that into my essay? It doesn't have to be a lot of activities. You know, when I read essays, it doesn't mean that I've done everything and it's a litany of all these projects and things that I've achieved. That's not really what an essay is. When I read those essays, it talks about who I want to become, what I want to learn more about. And think about it. When you're in high school, you've done a lot of great things. When you're in college, you can do a lot of great things. But you got to get good grades. So we match, does the application match who we are as an institution? Standing out at Binghamton very much means to challenge yourself. By the way, when I work with seniors, and Owen kind of alluded to it, I want you to enjoy your senior year. I want you to have a great senior year. I want you to do all the traditions and have all the fun and do all the, you'll never get that senior year back. But I want you to challenge yourself and push yourself. I want you to take the AP classes and do those things that are going to make you strong academically. Because going from a junior year, which can be tough, think about it, SATs, that's a big deal. Well, at Binghamton, we're SAT optional, but about 50% of the students submitted their SATs or their ACT scores to Binghamton. So take them. Take your SATs. Take them twice, your super score. And then in the end, if you say, you know what, I took it twice and it doesn't reflect me at all, I choose not to submit it, you have the option. Or you say, you know, I worked hard on that. I took it twice and you super score, so I want the best, that's my composite. Yeah, sure, I want to submit it, of course. It could strengthen your application. So holistically, it all matters. The timeline is November 1st, early action. January 15th, if you apply, regular decision. Right now, seniors are just waiting on their decisions. It's a tough time of year. It's a tough time of year. May 1st is a national deposit deadline. So those seniors by May 1st will come to our campus, go to our open house events, and deposit. Once they deposit, they're no longer an admitted student, they're an enrolled student. They're a Duke University student once they deposit.
So, standing out you would think maybe is a little, not as the same kind of thing when it comes to Broome, which is accurate because we do, as an open enrollment program, we have open enrollment on almost all of the things you're looking at Broome. So it means that as long as you're doing well here, you're going to be prepared to do well with us. There is exceptions though, because we do have competitive programs, primarily in health sciences. If you were going to look at being a nurse or go into dental hygiene, radiologic technician, which has the highest accreditation you can get in the nation. Those programs are really competitive because there's limited space. And so standing out really means following the directions, just like we talked about dates, deadlines, and requirements. That is a big thing because if you know the requirements of the programs you're looking at, you're not going to be surprised at where you're standing and where you're at. But I cannot tell you how often people do not read those pieces of what the requirements are. And then we have difficult conversations that you're not prepared for. So reading into what's required is super important and does show that you are taking the initiative to know things. And also, you can stand out at Broome very easily by something you can do standing out with almost every college, which is when you go to a visit or go to an event, get to know people. If you get to know a faculty member in the program that you're interested in, they can serve as a mentor and somebody who can guide you on your path when you get there. And that's what faculty and staff, like ourselves, really are all about, is that we want to get connected to you. We want to know your story. We want to help you succeed. So the more you do to get to know them, they will act as a resource. And that allows you to stand out. Maybe not in the opportunities for admissions, but in the opportunities for internships, for work study programs, for opportunities on campus that otherwise you may not be aware of. That allows you to stand out and be successful in those spaces. Putting yourself out there to get to know them. And the last thing you can do, and I'm going to go to the past, because before the director at Broome title, I also was at Oneonta for several years. So I have done a lot of other recruiting, and especially a lot of folks ask a lot of questions about the essay at this point too, if you're submitting an essay. And some places require essays, some places do not. Broome does not currently, but essays can be important potentially to allow you to stand out a bit. What we really recommend to folks is taking an essay that is something that really comes from you, is a voice, that they get a sense that it's you writing it about something you find important in a very specific direction, either maybe taking a prompt or maybe coming up with something on your own, but it should be your unique voice. It should not be something that you sit down when the Super Bowl's on in the background and just jot it out for 30 minutes and then put it in a drawer somewhere and you're done. Generally, essays will take time. You should put it in front of somebody else who knows you to read through it, see if it feels right, see if it reads right. Get it in front of maybe some folks here at school and let them take a look at it. Take advantage of their skills to see those things too. Because we get essays all over. Essays that are funny, essays that are tragic, essays that talk about how nutritious Taco Bell is for you. I've read that essay, it's amazingly fun. It's all about just writing something that's important, that seems like it fits who you are. Telling your story is a great place to think about that because we are looking to get to know you. So using that as a starting off point is not a bad thing to think about.
Let's go on with that theme because right now we're doing that. You could be student A who's brilliant, student B just as brilliant, same major, equal, but then we'll be in committees and around a table with some of my colleagues and I'll go, but you got to hear this story. It's the perfect fit. It matches us well. We're here to tell our story, and more importantly, we're here to invite you to come to our college campuses to hear our story in a better way. You're more than just an SAT score or a GPA. It's your story. I heard this real cool thing. I don't know if you heard it but think about this. If you were to write your college essay, and the reason we're spending so much time on it is because it's a big thing that the seniors say, I'm working through it, right? Write your college essay. And if you were to put your name on it, and you were to drop it in the cafeteria, and someone were to pick it up and read it, You go, oh, I know exactly who that is. That's a good essay. You know, because the reality is we want to get to know who you are. You know, and it's important because in the end we got to get it right. I talked about retention. The essay is one of those points of strength that you can improve your application.
Other questions?
Yeah, what kind of questions do folks have?
Who feels like if they walk into a college, they don't know what to ask?
I think
Can I ask you what you would consider a strong SAT score?
depends. See, we're one university with 6 different colleges. Each one of those colleges have their own admissions criteria. So, for example, if you want to be a nurse, we're going to look strongly at chemistry or biology or sciences. And SATs, you know, think about that, the math components, the writing components. So each one of those, if you want to be an engineering student, you know, we're going to look strongly at your math component, right? The calculus is going to be math. So each one of those is going to be dependent upon the college that you're admitted into. We call them mid-ranges. Every college is different, so you got to ask this with every college. I'm talking about Binghamton now. The mid-range is anywhere from a 1400 to a 1450. SAT. GPAs, like 293 above. But I don't want to scare you with numbers. We didn't come here to scare you with numbers. We came here to say we want to invite you. Because I got to tell you, if you love Binghamton like I love Binghamton, I'm going. I promise you, you'll get to Binghamton. And that's why you work hard at SUNY Broome. I told you the story about my sons. But that transfer, 30% of our students are 30% are transfer students. So they would have started somewhere else and transferred into Binghamton. So if you can, the pathway is there for you. Bottom line, truly, is if you work hard and you stay focused, you'll achieve.
Now, somebody did raise their hand about maybe we don't know what to ask. Who's worried about paying for all of this? That's okay. That's usually a place where we start also junior years having the conversation of how are we going to afford all this? And that's great because having a realistic expectation of the cost of college is important too. We care a lot about you really paying as low as we can help you with, which does come with a lot of restrictions. We only can do so much based on the cost of tuition, housing on campus, and things of that nature. But there's also things out there like scholarships. We offer a lot of scholarship on our campus. You could take advantage of military service and have their support leading you to college success. There's a lot out there. As local students, we have a lot of local scholarships too that are geared towards students like yourselves specifically. So, many cases, that's just a matter of seeking it out. Answering the email from your high school about the available scholarships and when you can apply to them. Because if you don't do that, you leave money and opportunity on the table. The same happens with us. When we recommend that you go off and fill this out, it's really important you do so within the time that we tell you. It's important to fill out the FAFSA, that free form for financial aid. Even if you think there is no chance your family would get any money ever whatsoever, it's important to have that information on file because sometimes having it on file is the difference of being able to get the scholarship or not. Not what the numbers are on it, just the fact that you have it. That's important sometimes. And so it's a great step to take when it opens up for yourself, senior year, which will hopefully be on time to when they say it will be, that you go in and fill it out for your success. Fill out the New York State one as well. So you have access to funding from the state that will help you along the way.
We do offer scholarship help specifically for SUNY Broome. So actually today, those students who are set on going to SUNY Broome, I invited them into the counseling office and I walked them through the process of bringing up their email from SUNY Broome, logging in, creating an account, going to their actual foundation for scholarships, and I walked them through the application process. So that is something that we offer here. And we also
so I got two things, since we talked about the SATs and finances. So that's kind of one of the most important things about the Army Reserves. It's going to get rid of that whole burden of the financial questions about it. The major commitment for that is just 5.5 years, you get everything. You get, we have a lot of kickers on that, so it's more than just a $50,000 GI Bill, it's more than just a tuition assistance. There's other things, we also have like the Minuteman Scholarship. Do the research on them, there's a lot of things that help you, where basically you go to college for free and there's no financial burden whatsoever. You just ask for a small commitment for 5.5 years. If you don't want to continue service, you don't continue service, you move on with your life, use your degree, get a great job, or you take that degree and you transition over to the active side, you become an officer in the military through OCS. And then also for like the ACTs and the SATs. We have a program called March to Success. There is no commitment to the Army to be in that. We're not going to enlist you for it. You're making nothing at all. And what that is there for is for the Army, so you can study to increase your scores on the ACTs and SATs, so you have a better chance to get into college and progress with your future on that route. Okay. We're going to try to convince you to go in the reserves or active duty, because I mean, that's my job, that's what we do, we want you to do that. But that March to Success program is solely for you to study and help you increase your scores on the SATs and ACTs, so you're more likely to get into college, because that's what we want.
You know, sometimes I work with students and I don't know how much you take that SAT. I said, well, take it. I'm not a very good test taker. When you get to college, you're going to take tests. So I want you to become a good test taker, right? So that means practice, work hard at it. You know, one of the things I love right now, especially, and I got to tell you, students are connecting with me. Seniors are connecting with me. They're sending me emails and they're lobbying for themselves. They're voicing for themselves, and I love that. You know, we're much more likely to admit somebody that we know, or student A and student B are just equal, but if I know that student is so serious that we offer them a spot, they advocate for themselves, they visited us, they would accept it. So my point is, students, get to know your admissions counselor, wherever that might be. Send them emails, communicate with them really well, because they'll be a partner with you, because they know you better. Parents, we love you, but we want the students to do it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, I'll reiterate, that's one of the hardest parts about all this, is that we know that you are a team. I encourage you to do things as a team tonight. Along the way, the voice of the team in many cases needs to be students, because you will gain more, because you students are the ones in the end who have to live the choices being made. You all live them for your future. So being able to communicate within that is super important, because you will be the one who is there at the front lines when you arrive there in that class. Because unfortunately, unless you're going to audit a class, parents in many cases can't get in there. So it's important to take a moment to think about that, how you communicate with colleges, maybe what your email looks like right now, because if you have one of those emails that you thought really looked cool in Fortnite, but doesn't look as cool when you send it to a professional, this is a great time to make that change, do something a little different. In many cases, you want to have an email that's outside of the school, because sometimes things get lost in spam and filters and things. So you want to have maybe something you collectively work together for college, so you all can see stuff that comes through sometimes.
What other questions?